People often ask us, why? Why do you go to the mountains? Why do you willingly put yourself in danger, in the cold, and in discomfort? The answer we usually give is superficial: to escape the city noise, to relax, to breathe fresh air. These answers aren't lies, but they aren't the whole truth either. Me and people like me, people in love with mountains and nature, look at this from a slightly different, deeper angle. We don't go rambling in the mountains to escape life. We go so life doesn't escape us. I know, this sounds like a quote from an Instagram motivational page. So let's drop the poetry and speak in the only language modern people understand: economics. In the modern world, money isn't the only thing experiencing inflation. We are used to rising prices in stores, but we don't notice a much more dangerous process. Our emotions are experiencing inflation too. In the modern world, money isn't the only thing that suffers from inflation. We are experiencing emotional inflation. Think about it. Remember when you were a kid? You'd find a plastic toy in a Happy Meal. And for 1 week, you were the happiest person on earth. Today we can buy any chocolate, any toy in the form of a new iPhone. We can go to any country, but the emotion isn't the same anymore. Things we once bought with joy, the comfort we worked years for, the car we dreamed of, all of this has devalued. The joy felt at the moment of purchase lasts exactly 5 minutes, and then the emptiness returns. We have created the most comfortable world in human history. Even kings didn't have the conditions the average statistic person has today. You have unlimited hot water, unlimited calories, and unlimited information. And what is the result? We are the most anxious, depressed, and drug-dependent generation in history. We start having panic attacks if the Wi-Fi signal drops by 1 bar. This is the greatest paradox of modernity. Man invented 1,000 types of technology for happiness, but the result is the opposite. Why? Because the law of economics is ruthless. When supply is unlimited, the price drops to zero. When comfort is everywhere, we can no longer feel it. We're simply exhausted, not by work, but by an excess of pleasure. We have dopamine intoxication. Social networks, delicious food, TV series, soft sofas, all of this numbs the brain. We don't live anymore. We simply exist in a comfortable, golden cage where you have everything, but nothing makes you happy. Right here, against the background of this emotional death, a desire appears: escape, somewhere far, into the wild nature, where there is no Wi-Fi, no boss, no obligations. We want the sensation of freedom, of real life. Even thinking about this is pleasant. While sitting in the office, we imagine how we climb a peak, how we watch the sunset. But as soon as it comes down to action, a second, even more tragicomic paradox begins here, which I call glamorous hiking. We want nature, but we are afraid of it. We want wildness, but we don't want discomfort. As a result, we create a monster. Look at the modern tourist, or even yourself from the side. We go to the mountains, but we bring the whole industry with us. Expensive equipment created with space technologies. Ultra-modern tents that withstand hurricanes. Solar panels and power banks so the phone doesn't die even in the forest. Wi-Fi routers to post a story on Instagram from a peak. Gore-Tex shoes that cost more than my first car. We bring a smart kitchen to the mountains with titanium pots and stoves that boil water faster than a home kitchen. Let's admit it, this really isn't an escape from the city. This is carrying the city on your back. We are afraid of real freedom. We are afraid that we'll get wet, get cold, or get hungry. That's why we pay $5,000 for equipment, just to be exactly as safe and warm in the forest as we are in our office. We go to the mountains, but in reality, we are just changing the decorations. Instead of office walls, there are mountains. But our body is in the same comfort. And if the comfort is the same, if risk doesn't exist, if there is no hunger, then the sensation remains the same: emptiness. We simply moved our neuroses to an altitude of 2,000 meters. I don't judge anyone because I walk this exact path myself. Everyone has to go through this evolution. I remember when I first went hiking. The goal was simple, to get away from everything. Back then, I didn't have money or expensive gear. I had cheap, heavy boots that hurt my feet and an old backpack from my grandfather's time. And you know what? It worked. Despite the pain and the heaviness, I was happy. Every step was a fight, and every rest, the biggest reward. The water I drank at the spring was the most delicious drink I have ever drunk. But then, consumer psychology kicked in. Marketing won out. I thought, if I enjoyed it so much with bad equipment, won't I end up in paradise with better equipment? I started buying. I absorbed YouTube reviews. I bought a better, lighter tent. I bought a sleeping bag where you don't get cold even at minus 20 degrees. I bought an inflatable mattress that is orthopedic. And so, slowly, on about the fifth hike, I discovered a terrible thing. I was lying in my super comfortable tent. There were beautiful stars outside, and I was watching a movie downloaded on a laptop and eating chips. Suddenly, I stopped. I turned off the screen and sat in the darkness. I realized that the magic was gone. I improved the hike technically, but I killed the adventure spiritually. I was in nature, but I couldn't feel nature. I was in a spacesuit. At that moment, I realized the bitter truth. The city wasn't tiring me out, but the constant pursuit of comfort was. Even in the forest, I was trying to build a small, warm, safe office and lock myself inside. I didn't want nature. I wanted a view of nature from a comfortable window. After that night, I decided to conduct a radical experiment. The next time, I went with minimal, the cheapest and most primitive equipment. No technology, no stove, only a bonfire, no soft matriz. At this moment, I wasn't running from a city. I was returning to the natural state of a human, where no one promises you that you will be warm and where dinner is not guaranteed. And that is exactly where what I call the rambling economy today started working. I discovered that after a whole day of walking, a simple, cheap sausage roasted over a bonfire on a soot-covered stick was tastier than the most expensive, elite steak in the city. Why? How? Did I suddenly become a chef? Isn't the sausage the same as in the store? No, the product is the same. I simply changed the market rules. I changed the context. In the city, the supply of comfort and food is unlimited, so its price and emotional value are zero. We eat, but we can't get full. But in the mountains, comfort is in deficit. Warmth is in deficit. Calories are in deficit. When you're cold, you are tired, your muscles hurt, and you are hungry. A simple slice of bread gets the price of gold attached to it. This is the fundamental law of economics. Scarcity increases value. Happiness, it turns out, isn't in things, but in the need for these things. But the main and most important discovery was waiting for me ahead when the hike ended and I returned to the city. This effect, the rambling economy, followed me back, even into the concrete jungle. When I entered the house, the hot shower, which was a routine before, became bliss. My ordinary, boring burger became a delicacy. My soft bed, which I didn't pay attention to, became a cloud. I even appreciated my job and computer, which used to give me depression, because I realized what a huge luxury, what a huge gift it is to simply sit in warmth with no rain falling on your head and just press buttons. This is the rambling economy. This isn't masochism. This is reducing inflation through an artificial crisis. Our psyche is like a frozen computer that needs a reboot. You go to the mountains, create a deficit, suffer a little, get very tired, enjoy nature, in order to make your brain forget the sensation of comfort. You restart your emotional system. And when you return, the world has flavor again. Colors are sharp again. You aren't running from life. You are running so that you fall in love with life again. And for this, sometimes you just have to ramble.